online, on the go. Fox Toledo News at 6:30 starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Laura Emerson.
And I'm Sean Hegarty. Here's the news for Tuesday, February 9th.
The story of the day, of course, snow. We've seen a lot of it so far.
We have indeed. Chief Meteorologist Doug Moats is here now with an update on the winter storm to let us know how much more snow we're going to get.
Well, Sean and Laura, snow pretty much has been falling all day. As we go to satellite and radar and take a look, the entire viewing area continues to be covered with light snow. And now we're starting to turn our attention to some winds that are going to be moving into the area. This snow and the storm itself pretty much at its halfway point. We're going to continue to see more snow through the evening and overnight hours, and as those winds pick up, well, we're going to see blowing and drifting, which is going to be a major concern. The winter storm warning will remain in effect until 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, and as of now, we're close to 5 inches of snow on the ground out at the Toledo Airport. The winds haven't yet to pick up, but we do anticipate that they are going to be rather gusty within the next 2 to 3 hours, and that's what is going to be a major factor for us as we continue through the overnight hours. Here's a look at the additional snowfall that we'll get tonight. 2 to 4 inches for a large portion of the area, 3 to 6 to the north and west. A few of our counties may only see about 1 inch to 3 inches of additional snowfall totals out there. Of course, we'll break this down a lot more coming up in your full forecast. Now, it's completely two different things to be in here in the studio talking about the snow and actually being out in it. So we are going to take you there to the storm live with weathercaster Bruce Slusher, who's standing by downtown Toledo.
Well, thank you, Doug. And I'll tell you what, I kind of drew the short straw today, but actually I was talking to my cameraman Mike here, and it's really very beautiful out here. The snow coming down is coming down still fairly hard, and what's really happening here is we're worried about the streets, okay? What's the first thing you ask people when you come in from driving around outside? How are the roads? Well, the roads really aren't all that bad right now. They are snow covered. There's some ice underneath it. So if you're really cautious, you're going to do okay. Now, if we walk on over this direction, you see the streets have been cleared here. Now, how do they determine, as far as the city of Toledo goes, the street department, how do they determine which streets to do first? Well, it's a phase process, phase 1 to phase 4. Phase 1 tells you, yes, this is a really high traffic area. They're going to get continuous clearing. Phase 4, not so much. That's the residential areas and the city streets where they're off to the side streets. They aren't going to get a whole lot of attention. Why? Well, basically because they just can't afford it. There's a lot of money involved in these particular activities as far as cleaning snow. And as you see right now in the video we took today, the snow was coming down, like we said. There's covered the streets. The crews were out, and they've done a really awesome job actually of keeping these streets open. But like we said, if you're on a residential street, you're not going to get a lot of attention, and that's been that way for quite some time, so that's not anything new. So as we continue through the evening hours now, we don't have a lot of traffic out here. We see a few, we see a few cars going by, but really not a lot of traffic. And that's good for the road crews because that gives them an opportunity actually to get these roads cleaned up and these streets cleaned up. So they're doing an awesome job out here. They've got all 33 trucks and solders out here, and they'll be out here until noon tomorrow. They're going to work right through the night. So they're doing an awesome job out here. So, Doug, they're really doing the best they can to keep up with the snow, and the streets slick but passable.
All right, thanks very much. Cowboy had a snowstorm. Like it. Emergency crews, of course, responding to several accidents today because of the snow. A semi actually flipped on its side into a ditch this morning north of Rising Sun on US 23. Traffic was reduced to one lane. Luckily, though, in this one, no injuries reported.
Well, crashes in this snowy weather can cause a domino effect on how well crews can clean the roads.
And into the night, conditions are expected to get worse, as Doug was telling us, which means the plow drivers are dealing with even more challenges. Tiffany Tarpley is live along Route 2 in Oregon. Tiffany, how are things looking out there?
Well, Sean, I'll tell you that I am cold. The snow is coming down, and as you can see behind me, there isn't really that much traffic out here, but the roads are snow covered. And as for the Ohio Department of Transportation, they're really focusing on the interstates right now. That's their main focus. But as you know, with it being dark, visibility is low, so that can be an issue. And another issue that we're talking about here is the blowing and drifting snow.
When you have the wind, once you go over it, the second you do, all the snowfall comes back. So that's what creates our problem, and that's where it's hard for drivers to understand. Even though we might have all of our trucks out in full force, it doesn't matter what we do. Mother Nature seems to win.
Now, this is what it looked like earlier today on I-75 in Toledo near the 475 split. At the time, nearly 200 crews were out across 8 countries in northwest Ohio, with nearly 30 trucks focusing solely on the interstates in Lucas County. And right now, main roads are the priority. So if you live in outlying areas, the road conditions could be a little worse. And another bit of information I want to pass along to you, you know those ramps when you're getting on and off the interstate? Well, they aren't really focusing on those right now. Those are secondary, so they will be snow covered. And right now I'm going to ask Larry WHATLEY to come up here, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the road conditions and some important information that you need to know.
I think the key word, Tiffany, is caution. If you're going to be out and about tonight, you really need to be careful out there because the roads are getting worse in terms of hazardous conditions. We've already had a number of accidents. In fact, we've had accidents all day long. Some of the latest ones are 75 northbound Willits Parkway, also Neil Wash Road in 24 at White House, 75 also southbound down there near North Baltimore. These have been cleared away, but most likely you're going to see more accidents tonight because of the blowing and the drifting snow. That's going to be tonight, overnight, and also tomorrow morning. So again, the caution is the key word for now. So if you're going to have to be out and about tonight, you really need to slow down. Back to you in the studio.
All right, another good hat. Thank you very much. Want to let you know our winter weather coverage does not stop here. We have a long list of delays, closings, even cancellations. You can find them all on our website, foxtoledo.com. We also have links to local airports, so if you're going in and out of town, you can get the most up-to-date information there, along with the forecast and information about snow emergencies.